Hello, my name's Mervyn Jones. I'm Head of Products and Materials at WRAP. WRAP is a Waste and Resources Action Programme, and we work towards a world where resources are used sustainably. We receive funding from UK governments to work on overcoming barriers in sectors that will make the greatest impact. When London won the rights to host the 2012 Olympic Games way back in 2006, we initially worked closely with the Olympic Delivery Authority to help them set and deliver targets for recycling more construction waste from the demolition of over 140 buildings on the Stratford site. And we then went on to help them build more sustainable venues, including the use of recycled content in the construction process. We followed that up by working closely and advising and then later directly supporting the London Organising Committee of the Olympic and Paralympic Games, that's LOCOG, in the delivery of their zero waste target, including the development of an event resource management tool that received the Inspired by London 2012 award. We used the learning from London 2012 around sourcing and waste reduction and waste management in the event sector to develop guidance in support of a wider vision to create a zero waste events roadmap for the sector, which was launched the following year. And we followed that up by working very closely with Zero Waste Scotland, who were supporting the delivery of the 20th Commonwealth Games and also the Ryder Cup in 2014. And we've subsequently transferred all of this learning from the event sector into the catering sector as part of our hospitality and food services agreement. We're currently in the process also of transferring this knowledge through to the Rio 2016 Organising Committee for the 2016 Olympic Games. It is difficult and not always productive to try and compare sectors in terms of performance on resource efficiency and waste management, as circumstances even within the event sector can vary markedly, for example from outdoor to indoor events, from commercial to cultural events, and also from events that are contained within a certain area to linear events like a marathon race or a long distance bike ride or a motor event. However, we can say that the UK events sector has got considerable room for improvement, both in terms of reducing the waste created, e.g. through better resource planning early on in the design process, and also through to waste management, dealing with the waste once it's arisen. And as it is a very linear process in delivering an event, it is too easy to either ignore or to pass on the responsibility to the next in line. As I mentioned before, the learning from London 2012 around food and packaging waste has informed the successful UK hospitality and food services agreement, which in turn improves the performance of the signatories who also tend to work in event catering. I think the Ryder Cup has helped raise awareness that some highly sustainable events can still make both environmental and commercial gains through better resource management. In addition to helping the LOCOG deliver the London 2012 Olympics, our aim was to create a sector-wide roadmap, and it's really a question of ownership. In terms of the roadmap, we would probably have benefited from more client pull to encourage improvements being made by the supply chain. The London Olympics gained huge momentum, but I don't think the sector has capitalised on this to the fullest extent from a sustainability perspective. Gaining industry buy-in to the roadmap was slow, and without ownership there's little chance of sustained improvement. In some respects it seems London was almost too successful in that others, quite rightly, want to put their own stamp on their events. But in doing so, they don't necessarily strive to be quite as ambitious as the London Organising Committee were for the Olympic Games. Measurement is an important tool for monitoring progress against a baseline, and the Deming principle states that you can't manage what you haven't measured. However, you need a baseline initially, and that needs some leadership from the decision makers both in the wider sector and also in the specific event management process in order to enable something to be put in place in the first instance. In many cases, this can be as simple as spending a few hours looking at what the options are before simply going ahead and doing the same as you did last time. Making a positive impact is actually remarkably simple. Not every event has to aspire to be a zero waste event, as they can't control the inputs and the outputs in the same way that major events can. However, that doesn't stop even the smallest event from aspiring to be better and making small and easy improvements. If you can't manage recycling, and you probably can, then look at preventing waste from arising in the first place. The added bonus is that it's not just good for the environment, but it can also save money, and that makes good business sense.